Hello, wonderful galactic spirits. It is 11:11, so no time is more auspicious to get started on this very exciting 13-day adventure into initiating your passion, tapping into your life force, tapping into your Kundalini energy, the serpentine energy that goes all the way from the base of your spine all the way up through your crown chakra, the top of your head, for quickening of enlightenment. And we're starting a very exciting 52-day cycle of 52 days of castles. And we talked briefly about castles when we were talking about the energy of human last cycle. But I want to share one more synchronicity with you right before we get into the meat of our lesson today and ultimately our meditation. I was going through Facebook and going through my feed, and one of my friends did a wonderful post, and it's all about serpent energy. So what's the lesson here? I want you to start paying attention to the synchronicities that happen in your life in a moment-to-moment basis, and by doing so you anchor those energies in and solidify them even deeper into your consciousness. And as a reminder, they are all about your birthrights, anchored in stone, recorded in stone from the ancients. You can even go look at them now in the Yucatan Peninsula and throughout Mexico, Teotihuacan and Chichen Itza. All of these images are there. The ones I'm sharing with you are a little stylized and beautiful, but the energy is the same. We want to anchor the energies of these emotions, these 20 emojis, these expressions of your universal birthright into your consciousness, because that is what is going to give you the ability to tap into your galactic spirit, which is ultimately live heaven on earth, and for you to be able to manifest anything you want. So here was the beautiful synchronicity I saw on Facebook, and it is a quote from Martha Graham. If you don't know who Martha Graham is, she was an evolutionary dancer who pretty much brought modern dance into existence. And this is what Martha says: there is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one you in all time, this expression is unique. That's what Martha said. I'm going to edit it because I have to edit everything. Your expression is unique, and that is the purpose of evolving your galactic spirit. So what are we going to do today? We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to quicken our passions. We are going to learn how to trust our intuition more, and we are going to create a momentum for inspiring you to do what you do that makes you alive, that makes you happy, and really inspires your quickening for enjoying your life. I mean, that's the whole purpose of why we want to explore our consciousness anyway. How do we really be able to tap into the auric field, the Akash, the divine matrix, whatever you want to call it, in order to deepen our experience, shift our DNA, live longer, more fulfilled lives. So that is why we do our galactic spirit. So today we're going to explore what Serpent is all about. Yes, I mentioned we are going to kick off 52 amazing days, and I'm going to briefly share a little bit more about how this magnificent, ever deepening cycle, mathematical, numerological system. You don't need to remember any of it because you can always get the energies of the day on galacticspirit.com. Just go help yourself. But the whole idea is when you pay attention to these energies every day, it deepens your cycle, and we're going into a very, very powerful time right now. And then we are going to recap where we've been, where we're going, and of course we are going to have a very deep serpent Kundalini meditation as we explore not only the energy in our bodies, but the energy of galactic, no time and no space. So let's get started. We've already talked a little bit about serpent energy. Here's our serpent emoji. Start anchoring this energy, this emoji and its energies into your consciousness over these 13 days. And as a reminder, let's just do a little recap. There are 13 days as we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to 13. And we are aspiring up the consciousness spiral. And every day we are anchoring, initiating passion, quickening our catalyst for our momentum, our instinctive instincts, our joie de vivre, our zest for life, doing what we like to do more and more, and trusting our instincts. So every day we're going up the spiral, the ascension spiral of being able to do that. In this little broadcast today, in this little lesson, I am not going to go over the micro details of every day. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. We've done that. You can get them for free on galacticspirit.com. We're not going to talk about what each of these days mean. Again, here is the but here's a little snapshot of what you can find every day, one day at a time. We're going to go through the 13 days of initiating passion and exploring your primal instinct. And day 1, for example, is always a double up day to really anchor what the energy is. Day number 2 is World Bridger. Day number 2 is World Bridger, where World Bridger was all about surrender and letting go of karma and baggage. Day number 3, we are electrifying our hands, our ability to heal, for intuitive knowing. That's what hand is all about. And to exploring your consciousness. Again, get them on. Day number 3 is day number 4. See the 4 dots? Four dots is we are anchoring our electromagnetic bodies in. The star is the beauty way. How can you see everything beautiful and use your sensory relationships in initiating your passion? It's a wonderful day for creative arts. What is your art that you want to share with the world for quickening your conscious evolution? I'm just giving you a hint about how this works. On the micro level, again, go get your daily energies on galacticspirit.com. This is the moon. The moon is all about fluid transcendence, going with the flow, getting rid of thoughts and actions that don't serve you in order to make way for your primal instinct to come forward. See how these are working together. So here's the micro in our 13 days of initiating passion. We're going somewhere really cool, so stay tuned. So this is just a recap now, and because I want to show you how exciting these 52 days that are coming up are going to get. So here is, every time we're going to learn a little bit more. So here's our 260 days, the micro, right? Here are our 13 13-day cycles, of which there's 13 of the keys inside. So here's our adventures, our 13-day adventures. Here's one of our 13 days. It happens to be 260. Remember that, because I'm going to share something really cool with you in a second. And here is our castles, which we talked about when we were talking about human, which is the last cycle. But quickly, let's just review it so you know where we are. Here is, let's do this one first. Here's the wheel of castles. So the castles, for last wheel, when we talked about human, we were in your soul's evolution and activating and imprinting these energies. And now we have moved into the blue castle, full of transformation and inner resonance. And here we're starting with Serpent, and then we're going to Mirror, next 13-day cycle. Then we're going to monkey, and then we're going to seed. So now, and seed is all about fulfilling everything in your life. So look how this wheel is in constant motion. Each of these cycles are 52 days. And each of the 52 days is broken down into what? 13 days of your adventure, right? And now what are we in? We're in Serpent, so you're getting it. And I told you in previous lessons, remember, every time I'm going to drop in a few other lessons of how this magnificent system works in. Again, I'm doing it with stream of consciousness, but at the same time, what we're doing is I'm showing you how everything works together, and ultimately how every single one of the, what are they? 260 energies, day by day, synchronistic energy by energy, we are experiencing the micro daily energies within the wheels upon wheels, now specifically in the cycle of initiating passion, in the cycle of Serpent. By the way, it seems fitting before I tease you, because remember I told you the 260, I'm going to show you how magical the next 52 days are. Remember I just told you, so there's a little prequel. But before I do this, I want to remind you about Serpent from a Judeo-Christian philosophy. And remember, all of these emojis are anchored in stone. They're universal images. It doesn't matter if you think about the serpent from Judeo-Christian philosophy when you're talking about the story of Adam and Eve, which we're going to go talk to in a minute, how it was one of the initial gods of ancient Egypt. It was used in Buddhism and Hinduism for the Kundalini life force, the snake that rises up your spine. So all of these energies, just as a reminder, are very, very potent and powerful energies of universal consciousness that ultimately will transform your life, because each one of them has a inner heart resonance. You know what I'm talking about here? That taps into our source of all things, the divine matrix, God, the Akashic records, galactic spirit, great spirit, whatever you want to call the universal life force, the universal energy that exists in all things, from the smallest micromolecular, I rather say micro quantum particle that exists in every atom, or every micro quantum particle that exists in the cosmos. They are one and the same because of entanglement, and how when you shift one energy somewhere, you impact the rest of the field. So just on a global perspective, since I kind of went there, when you evolve your life, you evolve human consciousness, and you evolve galactic consciousness too, even though at this time in our human history, we don't really understand what's happening out in the galaxy and life on other planets, and whether we were star-seeded or anything like that. And I'm not going to open up a big Palladian can of worms or Arcturan can of worms at this moment, but you can get a glimpse into my passions, which is all about serpent energy and where we are going, you know, where our potential is from a universal force. So 260 days. I want to just show you this, which I don't think I've showed you before. And here, all these little squares, this grid is called the Tolkien. And each of these, if you counted them up, there would be 260 little squares, and you'll notice they are all color-coded. And of these color-coded, every single one of our 260 emojis is a different color. We can talk about what these color, here's a red one, Skywalker, here's yellow, star, red moon, white dog, blue monkey. It is blue, isn't it? Okay. Okay, you never knew I wrote the book called Color Alchemy, would you? Okay, so each one of these, is this right up side? Yeah. Each one of these is a different color. All the colors mean something. And when you go down the list here, you start with day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get to 13, which means it is in one of the cycles. And then it starts 15, 16, 17, all the way to 260. But if you notice very carefully, not only are they numbered, I'm probably going somewhere I don't really want to go yet, but if you go down to number 4, let me see if I can focus this for you. Not so well. But here's day number 13, and day number 14, we're starting a new cycle. See that with the dot 1 and dot 2? So every single series of these starts with the one, even though they're numbered 1 through 260, we start with the different the sequence of the dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 13. And when we did a few series before, we talked about, these are out of order, what all of these numbers meant. There's the 5 of 13. See the bars? So it goes through 1. These are out of order. I wasn't prepared to do this. Remember, everything stream of consciousness. And that one's upside down. But you got the point. 1 through 13. Now, have a look at something very cool. 1 through 260. Stay with me now. Remember how I said in the past, you will probably have an aha moment. Well, all of this entire system comes together, and each time I'm dropping a few more nuggets because there's no way, no how I could give it to you all at once. 260 energies. You notice, and these kind of have my notes in them, not to worry, but you'll notice some of them are green. The ones that are green are called galactic activation portals. Stay with me because this is going to be really important. So every time we go through and wait, before I do that, and look, if you look carefully, what does that green shape remind you of? DNA, right? So with evolving our galactic spirit, we are actually going into the voids or the dead space, according to regular scientists who are saying there is nothing in the TGAs of our, I think that's it, of our DNA code, but we are awakening our DNA because it is encoded in this 260-day Tzolk'in, this 260-day map of conscious evolution. Now, so these, I've never explained this before live. So these green days, they will still have the energy of the energy of each day, but they also have deepening energies where they're called galactic activation portals, where the veil of consciousness is thinner, so you can have deeper meditations and higher connection to the galactic field, to the auric field, to the Akash, whatever you want to call it. And if you use in your meditation that you are sinking into your physical body, remember we talked about how your body is magnetic, your head is electric, your electromagnetic frequencies, and you expand it during your quick meditations, you can actually be widening your electromagnetic field, and the universe can receive it better on these days. Just feel that for a second. Every day is powerful. Every day is potent. because of the unique energies that Martha Graham's talking about, but each one of them is more, but the galactic activation portal, the green guys, are more powerful. And when you go to galacticspirit.com, there's the energies of the day, which you can get for free, but then I have to make a living somehow, and I'm entitled to do that. If you want to get the longer versions of the 2 to 3 minute meditations and activations, it goes when there is a green day. It does acknowledge that. So as we enter the Serpent, here is Serpent. Okay, I want to show you something. Hold that thought. The first set, and I kind of put red lines here, which you may or may not see, but here is the first series of 52 days, which is, as a recap, the Red Castle. 13 days of Dragon, 13 days of Wizard, 13 days of Hand, 13 days of Sun. And we're moving down. This is just another way of looking at this ever spiraling wheel, going deeper every time. Because when you start with day 1 and you end up at day 260, you begin again. The second series of 52 days is the White Castle. First castle, initiating your ascension. Second castle, activating and imprinting. And we talked about Skywalker, World Bridger, Storm, and Human and what it did. And now we are starting the Blue Castle with Serpent, about transformation and inner resonance. Another way of looking at it is we've been through red, we're going through white, and now we're going through the inner resonance and transformation, starting with Serpent. Now, here's the really groovy part. Here's day 1 of Serpent right here. See it? And then look at this whole row of greenies. Here's a whole row of galactic activation portals. And if you look at the center of the Zolkin, the center of the DNA spiral, this entire blue castle, the castle of inner resonance and transformation, we are in the heart center of this energy. So with the Serpent, we are starting an entire series of galactic activation portals where you can go super, super deep into your consciousness. It's very exciting. Just to give you a little preview about where we're going in the next couple series of 13 days, the next all in the Blue Castle. Next, we're going to do Mirror, Inner Reflections, Endless Reflection. Then we're going to go into Monkey, Magic, Play, and Joy. And then we're going to go into Seed. And each one of these has inner depth that we're going to talk about when we get there. But you're seeing that this entire heart center of the Zolkin is not only have one row of intense gap days, galactic activation portals, it has another series of galactic activation portals. So this guy is all about the catalyst of quickening, that Serpent, primal instinct, the lesson of today. Then we're going to go into what I call the mystic channel, where we, all the way down, right in the heart center, we're going to go through day by day the entire cycle of 20 right after the other, where if you and it's going to be in, we'll talk about this next time too, in the mirror cycle, endless reflection. So we've got the right and the left and the reflection and mirrors of each other. So we will be able to see deep into our reflection. What is that about? We'll talk more about it next time, but we're going to be talking about reflective actualization, where we are mirrors of each other. Everyone's a mirror of us, and the lessons we can learn in that, and we're going to go one by one through the cycle of each of the 20 days. And then we have another series of galactic activation portals in seed. And seed is about living your potential with flowering ease and graciousness. So not only having the ability to plant seeds of consciousness, and we're going to talk more about this when we get to the cycle, but not only plant seeds of where you want to go by starting your quickening now with Serpent and the galactic activation portals, going right down the mystic channel and then going to the galactic activation portal channel of seed, where, like I said, not only are you going to plant seeds of transformations right in the heart center of these 260 days, but we will be able to go back into time, because one of the energies that we already did was called Skywalker. And Skywalker transcends no time and no space. And we'll be able to go back to World Bridger, another one of the emojis. Remember how they're all holistically related. And we'll see how, instead of just planting seeds, we can move into no time and no space and surrender where bad behavioral patterns originally started, so we can go back in time and unplant those seeds. I just dropped a big nugget for you. It's very cool. So that is today's lesson. If you don't understand it completely, it is okay. It will come back. And by the way, one other thing, since we are taught, before we get into today's meditation, I want to just share one thing with you. In the castle of transformation, where are the blue? In the castle, the 52 days, which we are starting today, of transformation, and we're starting with the serpent right here. What's happening is that the next one is mirror, again with reflective actualization, which we're talking about. And before we go into plant seeds, right in the heart center is monkey. And monkey is destroying, getting rid of the illusion and living your life in magic, play, and joy. And just to give you another little prequel of this beautiful cycle of transformation, this 52-day castle of transformation, the day that monkey starts is right in the center of the Tolkien. Right in the center of the 260 days. So where we are right now, it's super powerful. We will probably review this a little bit next time, because, you know, maybe you didn't get the whole thing. And if you didn't, I don't know how long it took me to understand it. So be patient with yourself. Lock it back in your brain. Again, you do not need to know any of this. All you really need to know is go to galacticspirit.com. Go look at the energy of the day. There's a little mini video meditation there, which you can get for free, where you can then look at the energies of the day to be able to look at those energies, drop the emoji into your consciousness. So when you are experiencing your outer world, not only will you be able to see the synchronicities of what's happening in your life so you can see the value of it, but be able to bring whatever emoji you need at a moment's notice in order to be able to drop it in and make a conscious choice. Remember last time we talked about human being willing to make a conscious choice about whether you're going to react to something with unconscious behavior or whether you are going to respond in a grounded, mature, evolved, evolutionary manner in order to make conscious choices about living in ease and grace and how you want to manifest whatever it is in your life, as compared to allowing things to happen instead of allowing the effect happen from the cause. No cause, instead of living with cause and effect, you are causing the effect. And there's a very, very, very big difference in that concept. So let's talk more about Serpent. And let's really start breathing into this magnificent energy of Serpent. Oh, I'm very familiar with Serpent as I'm aspiring to learn all of them. And the whole idea is, why am I familiar with Serpent? Because everybody is born with one of these 260 energies as their birth, as their natal energy. So whatever one you happen to be, you know that energy very well because it's your natal. It's one you're comfortable with. Here's the little tidbit, by the way. Sometimes you're out of whack with the one that you know the best, because if you don't know the others as well, you might rely on whichever energy that is your natal energy more. And there's a balance with that. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no right or wrong. But the whole idea is, as we spin this galactic wheel of consciousness, as we move around our galactic spirit, our natal energy, sometimes we rely on it too much, because we have not strengthened all of the other attributes of our life, of our birthrights. So what happens is we become dominant in one or the other, and usually our birth energy. So therefore the others we might be lacking on. So the whole idea behind paying attention to the energy of the day is you come into wholeness by starting to really own all of the energies. So that is why it is so important to look at all of the energies, because they are all part of our innate wholeness. So let's drop in. Let's share your unique expression using Martha Graham's words. To initiate your passion, breathe into that. What does it mean for you to initiate your passion? And what does it mean for you to do more of what you love? To create the momentum of what you want to do now in your life. Now, you don't really need to know how you're going to get there. We talked last time about quantum entanglement and how when you activate your brain, not your brain is physical. when you activate your mind, there's a difference between mind and brain. Brain is the stuff. This is my hand. It's not the energy that's making my hand move. Your brain is the stuff. It's the physical matter. It's the energy of your brain, which is called mind. And when you are working these every day number, and aspiring up the 13-day channel of Serpent, because that's where we are right now, day number 3 is engaging your mind and the electro neurons to fire faster and harder, and visualize those to activate day number 1, the physicality of your magnetic body. So by the time you get to 4, you've activated your mind and body, created a very strong electromagnetic field in day 5, where you're activating your heart with intentional emotion. We talked about this before. Day number 5 is electromagnetic, empowered, embodied emotion, emotional motion. So as you're moving up the spiral of your Kundalini energy in Serpent, bringing up your primal instincts, you are activating your electromagnetic field with higher emotion from your heart, engaging your mind electrically, electrifying your body magnetically, activating your heart with emotion, and radiating that emotional motion out into the auric field because that is your catalyst of quickening. And Serpent helps you do that regardless of what cycle. Doesn't this look like the Serpent? Your Kundalini energy moving up your spine? Yeah, this is what Serpent does. And it helps you do more of what you want to do with trust and your life force. One thing I wanted to tell you before, and then we'll go back to drawing this energy up and into the cosmos, but I forgot to tell you, remember this is stream of consciousness, so whatever drops in at the moment is what you get. The Judeo-Christian story about Adam and Eve, I wanted to tell you that before, and I don't want to forget, because this is a big aspect of Serpent too. So here comes the Serpent down from the tree and says, "Hello, my pretty." He talks to the woman. Yay, divine feminine. The smarter of the two species. The smarter of the two sexes. Sorry, guys. But you know that anyway. We're moving into the divine feminine in the age of Aquarius. You know that too. And who said, "Come here, my pretty"? Where do you think fairy tales came from? And the Serpent says, "Here, have a bite of this apple." When Eve trusted her instincts, that's what Serpent's all about. When she survived the challenge from Mr. Snake, she took a bite of the apple, and she got wisdom according to the story, right? So when you are into your serpent energy, the part of your life force that's within you, your kundalini, your primal instincts, that is the wisdom of survival. Breathe. Feel the base of your spine. Feel your root chakra shining bright red. And see that kundalini life force spiraling up all the way to your crown chakra, reaching toward galactic heaven, going way up into the void, because this is your connection to your galactic spirit. You've extended your kundalini, your life force, your primal instinct, your catalyst of quickening, motivating you to do more of what you like best, and you've fired it like a rocket ship through the black void of space. Visualize that. Like a reverse shooting star, because that's what you are. Your unique expression is a shooting star unlike any other in the galaxy. Through the blackness of time and space, into the unknown, merging with the divine matrix, the galactic spirit of all that exists. Bring the emoji of serpent into your consciousness. See what it looks like. Anchor it in. And while holding the energy up into the infinite field where everything is possible, hold it there. Go back to your root chakra for a second. Bring that kundalini energy down into the earth so you can stay grounded and feel the connection to the crystal core, the crystalline grid of Mother Earth. Breathe in there. While you're down there, love on Mother Earth for a minute. Tell her that you love her. Tell her that you respect her. Tell her you'll reduce your carbon footprint. And now you're connected to the crystalline grid of Mother Earth, Mama Gaia, Pachamama, all the way to the galactic source of all things as your light force. But if you're visualizing the way I was visualizing, that was only 2-dimension, right? There was a line from galactic heaven all the way down to the crystal core of the earth. 2 dimensions. But remember, you are a sphere of electromagnetic energy. Big, humongous beach ball. You're in one humongous beach ball. Let's say it's only 4 feet around you at the moment. Pulse your electromagnetic frequency. Raise your vibration. Pulse your life force. Breathe. That's my phone, by the way. You can put an app on it to remind you to breathe. I forget. So breathe. And pulse your electromagnetic life force 8 feet, 16 feet, 32 feet beyond space and time, and have your Kundalini be in the matrix, because it is already. You are part of that divine matrix, transcending time and space, because you've gone through the blackness of space and time and to the unknown to know that all is possible. You don't even know what's possible because our minds haven't, we haven't dropped into what's possible now. What's possible now? What's possible now? What's possible now? And those nows, if you understand that there's no space and no time, these now are limitless in multidimensional space and multidimensional consciousness. Breathe into that. You are Serpent, expanding your passions, expanding your joie de vivre, your zest for life. The moment that you wake up in the morning and say, wow, I'm so happy to be alive, in such deep gratitude. When you put your head on the pillow at night and you say, wow, what a day, that was awesome. And thank you for all the synchronicities that happened and how much galactic spirit and the emoji of the day taught me, because the synchronicities in my life were so transformational, and how exciting it is in the castle of transformation, where we are expanding our inner resonance as we go through the center of our 260 days. Wow. Look how far you've come. And look where you're going. And think about the circle. Reminds me of the song, the country song, the old bluegrass song. Will the circle be unbroken? Never. The only time you break this cycle is when you're limited in your consciousness. When you have a predisposition to the way things might be or the outcome. When you're holding your galactic spirit in your body with your electrified mind and holding it in your heart with elevated emotion, there's no limit to what you can do. And Serpent, with your Kundalini energy, with that life force spiraling up your consciousness and giving you wisdom, you'll always survive the challenge. You will reach your potential. Begs the question of human emoji. We did it last 13 days. Are you willing? All goes back to that. So that's our energy of Serpent. It's fiery. It's almost hard for me to sit still to do a meditation. It's so exciting because it's the momentum. It's the passion of life. It's your initiation into everything. And what gives you personal power. It's the blood that's running through your veins, or the waters of Mother Earth, Pachamama. So, enjoy your Serpent. Next cycle we talked about briefly is Mirror. How are you being a reflection for others? And what are you seeing in others that are reflections of you? And that's just the beginning. in Lakesh. I am another yourself, which is the way the Mayans say namaste, the Sanskrit way of saying the light within me honors the light within you. From my galactic spirit to yours. See you next time.